This is the second part of the video. This part will explore the logic behind the app. And if you remember the app, you had a list of names for the list picker, and I've actually created them. The way I created them is very simple. From the built-in, you choose a variable. From lists, you choose the make a list app. It's a little bigger. And all you need to do is add some text. So I just type in text. That appears, and that's why I typed in Apple, etc. Okay? And you just keep, if you're lucky, it'll snap in. Doesn't seem to be working, so I'll show you one. It may look like it's in there, but if I do that, you see it's not actually attached. And I usually find by compressing and expanding again, things which wouldn't attach will. Alright, so I've actually created two lists, a list of names and a list of pictures. Now, as you can see, the list of names is bigger than the list of pictures, so if we choose zebra, we will not be able to find it here. So I'm going to build this thing in parts. The very first thing you do is, before you use the list picker, you have to tell it from which list you're picking. And you do that by choosing from your blocks the list picker before list picking and after list picking. So here we go. Before list picking, what do we want to do? Well, we're going to say that we want to set the list picker elements to a particular list, and this is the list we want to choose. LST names. Done. Great. That's all we have to do. After that, what do we want to do? Well, if you remember the description of the problem, we want to display the name we chose. That should be pretty simple. All we need to do is take the label and take what we've chosen from the list picker and put it onto the label. Oh, that sounds simple. How do we do that? Well, if you look in the list picker, one of the things that you can see is that there is a selection. This is what we've selected. Alright, so I'm going to actually run this as the app. I save it, bring up the emulator, and pick a word. Okay, zebra. Nope, it shows up. Pick a word. B. Yep, that works. So what I've just done is tested this part of the application before I went any further. Alright. Now, that's one of the requirements, that whatever I chose be displayed on the screen. So that works. How am I going to find the picture? Well, if you look, you'll see that each picture has the same spelling as the name of the name here, with a JPG attached. So what I'm really going to do is I'm going to have to create this text from this by appending .jpg from whatever I have here. That's fairly simple using something in the text drawer. So I can, in text, I can use this block, the make text block. What I want to do is I want to take whatever I selected from the name, that would be this, and to that I want to append same problem, JPG. This may not snap in there. App Inventor is being mean. I'll fix that in a second. And so the other thing I can do, well, first of all, I'm going to see if this is going to work. So for the time being, I'm just going to do this, shrink this, expand it, attach this. And so what's going to happen is, after I pick something, that whatever I've chosen plus JPG should appear in the label. Let's see if it works. Okay, where's my emulator? There it is. And so I pick a word, apple, and it works. Whatever I chose here has JPG appended to it. Let's go for zebra. Great. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to see if that exists in here. There's going to be a small problem. I want to use zebra.jpg, but I don't want to have zebra appear on the screen. So what I'm going to need is I'm going to need a temporary place to hold the name of the image. And the way I do that is by using a variable. You know where variables come from? The stork brings them. No, you can use definitions to have a variable and give it a name. Now it turns out I happen to have some handy off screen. Just hold on one second. Okay, I have something for the picture name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to say that I'm going to put the name of the selection over here onto the label, and what I'm going to do is, here's my variable called picture name, and in my definitions there's a picture name as a variable, and I'm going to set that value to that. I'm going to put a watch on here, and it says it's text. I can make this nothing, empty string, and now when I run it, what should happen is you'll see that this will contain the name of the string that I want to create. A string is basically text. So I save this, and I bring up my emulator, and here we go. Pick a word, B, and you see that that's going to be the name of the image for which I'm going to be looking in this list. So here we go. I'm going to compress this so we don't need it, so I can get more space over here. Now, what I'm going to do is go look for the do a little housekeeping here. The image. How do I do that? Well, if we go into lists, we can see that there's something which says is in list. Is it in the list? And this thing will return true if it's in the list and false if it's not. So what are we looking for in this list? We're looking for the picture. So we're actually looking for the picture name. So the thing we're looking for is picture name, and the list that we're looking for is list names. Great. So if it's in the list, we want to do one thing. If it's not, we want to do something else. That means we can use for an if then else. The test to determine what we want is that. So what we want to do, let's say if it's not in the list, if it's true, we do this. If it's not in the list, we want to do this. The other thing else do. So what that means, we want to make the image equal to the, we want to set the picture in the image, the picture to the sad face. Where was that? Well, if we go to the here, the component designer, that's called sadface.jpg. I'm going to copy that, go to the emulator, and I'm going to take some text. There you go. And I'm going to put copied and paste sad face there. So what I'm going to do is run this. I'm going to see if this works. Go to my emulator. and I'm going to pick a word, and that's going to be zebra. We know zebra's not there. And what happens is the sad face shows up, and we had chosen zebra. Okay, the next thing we need to do is do the same thing for the word which does exist. And all we need to do there then is, I'm going to copy and paste, and put the picture name there, the name we created. There you go. We save that, go to our emulator, see if it works. So pick a word. How about B? Oop. Why didn't that work? Hold on a second. Well, this is embarrassing, but the real reason is I made a mistake. Where do we want to look for the picture name? In the list of names or the list of pictures? Wrong. Okay, let's see if this works. Ready? Pick a word. Apple. There you go. Pick a word. B. Pick a word. Cat. Pick a word. Zebra. Done. Okay. Are we done? Oh no. It turns out that there's one more thing we need to do. We need to figure out how this button will work. So I'm going to make this smaller. And when we click this button, this is the reset button, remember, what do we want to do? Well, if you look at the emulator, we're going to have to blank this out. And I'm not sure what you want to do with this, but I do have a blank picture I can put here when I click the reset button. Right now, the reset button doesn't do anything. So what I want to do is I want to set the image picture to, I'll need the name of the blank over here. And I'm going to change the label to, the label text, to blank. What was the name of that blank? I go to here, and it's called blank JPG. Notice it's capitalized. And if I then, let's see, go here, there you go, blank JPG, save this, and look at my emulator, and let's see what happens. Reset. Oh, pick a word. Apple. Great. Pick a word. Cat. Looks good. Reset. Done. And that's my application. Let me know if you have any questions.